Hello everyone, I'm Dante from Low Mana and welcome to my predictions of what we'll see at Blizzcon 2018. I'll be attending myself, so I've had to write this before any possible leaks from the 2 weeks leading into the con. But here's what I hope to see, some of which is based on evidence, and some are just what I want to see. I think the clear favourite for some big news this year is Diablo, with speculation running rampant all over the place with the possibility of a 4th installment, and it's not without good reason. The original Diablo 3 released 6 years ago now, with the one and only expansion 4 years ago. In that time we've had plenty of free minor updates and one new hero in the Necromancer, which was released last year, but no signs of any other development, despite some openings on the Diablo team, some of which is related to its release on other platforms, including this swanky looking Diablo 3 Nintendo Switch coming out soon. So why does this point to a 4th game and not just a break from the series like they've done before? Well, for that, we need to look at how BlizzCon itself is structured, or at least what follows the opening ceremony. Traditionally, the next slot is dedicated to explaining a new announcement, a slot which this year has fallen to Diablo, a franchise that has no major panels since Reaper of Souls. As an example, the previous BlizzCon in 2017 had World of Warcraft as the first major panel. Why? Because the main announcement that year was the reveal of the new expansion Battle for Azeroth, along with WoW Classic. Both huge additions to Warcraft. So if that theory of event planning holds, everything's looking up for the world of Sanctuary. What exactly would a new Diablo game look like though? It's a pretty broad question considering just how large the lore of Diablo is and how Reaper of Souls ended. Everything essentially got reset. The Prime Evils got further than ever before, but were defeated. Yet by Malthael turning on his fellow council members, we ended up releasing all of the souls back into the eternal struggle. So in theory they could continue on the story, from almost anywhere on Sanctuary, as the Prime Evils try to regroup. Or they could take the franchise back to its roots with a prequel, revisiting one of the earlier attacks. We have the infamous Horadrim who could be explored along with bringing back Deckard Cain. The heroes within Diablo have certainly multiplied in power from the original solo adventure. A more intense, borderline horror game as you explore deeper into the fallen cathedral of Tristram, to becoming an arguably all-powerful Nephilim, facing the legions of hell head-on and hunting down the marauding Prime Evils. Personally, what I'd like to see them explore is some of the tales and lore we hear from the items and characters in the game. Discover what Yatar actually is, or something along those lines. As each Diablo game has shown where power grows and is given on Sanctuary, it's probably tied to a greater being, angels, demons, or sometimes both. Plus, if all the souls have been released, they need to go somewhere. Historically, we've had moderate success with soulstones. Maybe it's time we created a new one, or perhaps the Worldstone needs to be rebuilt to negate their influence on the material plane. Next up is Overwatch, which is slowly becoming tradition. I would predict is going to receive a new character. I don't think anyone outside of Blizzard really has an idea of who this could be, at least at the time of writing this. Unfortunately, the lore doesn't really give us too many hints, as I think we can all agree it's been quiet, really quiet. The build up to release in the following year was filled with animations, lore hints, Easter eggs and story about hope, as the world rebuilt Overwatch with the new heroes. Well, that's pretty much fallen on its face at this point. The animations are for the most part gone, the comics few and far between, and the urgency of the story arc stunted. Which, as the first channel to really deep dive into the lore and progression of Overwatch, is disheartening to say the least. However, there is still hope. Blizzard can get this faltering story back on the road. None of the potential has yet been lost. We still have the setup of the second Omnic Crisis, and some people have already started answering the call. Now would be the perfect time for that to start coming through. So with that somewhat meandering build-up, what I think we'll see in terms of Overwatch is a new character, based on the next step of the storyline. A great way to do something like that is either with a new Omnic, the new face of destruction unleashed by Talon, or, in the inverse, a brand new hero, the first to stand up to this new threat. Either of these choices pushes the story forwards, allowing future speculation to run rampant. Set a staging ground for the new animation that ends with them either joining or being defeated by the tiny, reformed Overwatch team. It's possible we could see a step up from this, with an enemy so powerful, accidentally released by Talon, that everyone from all sides needs to join against it. Though from some of the panels released, I think this would be too much of an escalation, at least for now. Other than a new cinematic and hero, I don't think we'll get too much else, although I can still hope. When it comes to Warcraft, no Warcraft 4 is in sight, as much as nostalgia is begging for one, So that leaves us with Battle for Azeroth. Information during expansion moves pretty quickly, meaning large announcements are rare. We'll likely to get more information on the new patch on the horizon, a look at the raids, new invasions, and Warfront with a cinematic to set the stage and refuel the Horde vs Alliance mantras. Along similar lines, we can expect an all-new expansion announcement for Hearthstone, with another song taking place within the tavern. I am regrettably a little out of the loop when it comes to Hearthstone, so I've got no theories as to what it could be, but I hope we get another raid-style event, as those are what I have the most fun playing now, as I don't have time to climb the ladder. Since I have no predictions on this one, what are your predictions for Hearthstone, and what are you hoping for? Heroes of the Storm, on the other hand, albeit one of the smaller Blizzard titles, it does have a thriving competitive scene, in addition to, surprisingly, now having a pretty robust story, as the Nexus Lords battle for power, which has almost entirely been driven by comics and a one-off in-game event. That I think should have lasted up to BlizzCon itself. The previous comic left us right on the edge of a major change to both Dragonshire and a potential Nexus-specific hero or Nexus Lord. So from that, I expect we'll get a brand new map. Not a shock, I know, but I think we'll see some thematic changes incoming for some of the maps, to show the changes in Nexus Lords. We'll likely get 2 new heroes tied to that map, loosely drawn in from other worlds, and what I'm hoping for the most is a cinematic featuring the characters from the comics. The Raven Lord demands to get the Terran Gregory treatment, so fingers crossed that's what we get. Lastly, we have Starcraft, which outside of esports hasn't had much in terms of updates for some time, even though its co-op game modes are incredibly well made. The story ended rather definitively in the previous installments, so building on that is almost impossible. So if we are to get something from the franchise, I hope and expect that it would be an entirely new genre. For years we had rumours of potential games including Ghost that was shut down a long time ago. Something like that is what I want to see, to go back and relive major battles from a different perspective. Thanks for watching this video. Please let me know what you're expecting to be revealed at this year's BlizzCon in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to support the channel, use the bell for notifications, and until next time, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.